Hey, how's it going, everybody? I hope everybody's having a great day. It's Monday. I think it's May 3rd. But anyway, yeah, it's May 3rd. It's March 3rd. I said May. Pardon me, March 3rd. Well, I'm rushing things, ain't I? But I went. I got HBO Max. I got it on a Black Friday sale. I got a year for $1.99 or something like that. I got this HBO Max app on sale. Anyway, I've been wanting to watch this Elevation. Okay, so it's an hour and 32 minutes long, and it came out in 2025. Got Anthony Mackie in it, and 3 years after the creature disseminated, uh, uh, disseminated humanity, the only place still safe is in the mountains above 8,000 feet. But to save the life of his son, a determined father must venture below the line to help with the help of two women. And this is our violence and adult language. But there's, it's weird though. If you look at this, Anthony Mackie, he, I think he produced this or something. He had something to do with it. The director is George Nofi, and starring Anthony Mackie and uh, Marina Bakarin and Maddie Hassan. But uh, this movie is an adventure sci-fi, and I had the feels for this movie. You know what I mean? I just had the feels, and so I kept, I'm not gonna watch this, man. I'm not gonna watch it, but I kept looking at it, and I was like, man, this movie looks pretty good. And I like Anthony Mackie anyway, and I like that woman there anyway. You know that woman there, she played in Gotham, and then she also plays the wife of uh, Deadpool. She was married to Deadpool in the Deadpool movies. She's also in that. So anyway, she's a good actress. But anyway, his son has asthma, and they can only survive from these things that come up from up ground, and uh, they they don't know where these things come from, and so they're trying to figure out where they come from. But the bullets can't penetrate the skin. So I started watching this like a couple days ago, and I was thinking, man, it's just something about this movie looks very interesting. This movie was shot very well. It was well made. It had a good story. There was nothing in there that was shoehorned in there. There was no checking off the boxes, if you know what I mean. Uh, it was one of those movies that was basically set up like these people are at the end of their, they're just at the end of their, you know, hope, and the only hope they got is try to figure out how to, kill these creatures that come out from out of the ground. So his son's got asthma, so he has to try to go back down 8,000 feet because these things can't go above 8,000 feet. So that's how these people that survived, because they wiped out mostly mankind. So what they did was he had to go down below 8,000 feet to try to get his son some asthma. I think he had asthma or something, so he had to go to the hospital get some supplies for his son, or his son was not going to make it because they just ain't got nothing, because everything's all messed up. So he decides to go, and then that woman right there you see in this picture, she decided to go because she's the one that was trying to figure out how to kill him because she worked in this lab. So while they're going, they decide to go, and this other chick decided to go too. Well, when I'm watching this movie, I'm like, okay, I'm liking this, I'm digging it, but it kind of surprised me, man, because I was like, why do I want to watch this movie? And then when I did, I was really happy with it. So obviously they gotta go 8,000 feet. They're above 8,000 feet, and then they gotta go down. So these things are going to chase them and try to kill them. And the creature design in here was pretty slick. Uh, it was well made, and you know, when I'm watching a movie like that, I'm sitting there going, and the whole time they're trying to figure out. They were saying stuff like, "Where are they from? Where did they come from?" And then there was part where they was sitting back and they was trying to figure out. They were trying to figure out where these things was actually coming from. And I like that because they were trying to, while you're watching the movie, they're saying all this stuff like they came out from underground, and this one woman, because everybody lost somebody. So, they're all upset because they lost somebody. So it's well played because humanity's at its they're all surviving in all these little factions around. I think this one was shot in Colorado or something like that, or Portland or Colorado. I think it was Colorado. But man, it was pretty cool because it was beautiful. It was beautiful. They shot it real well. It wasn't cheaply made. So the movie just goes them trying to go down. These things are chasing them, and one of the girls that's not in this picture, she got killed, and then it was just them two. Well, then there was some tense moments in here, man, with using the creature features in here because they did a good job. I was like, I kept saying to myself, like, there's the money shot. They know how to make a money shot in this movie without going over budget. This was well crafted. But so I had to make it to this hospital. They found this car and got it to run. And then when they got to run, obviously these things was coming out of nowhere and was trying to kill them. These creatures had armor on them that was hard to penetrate because these bullets just would not go through them. But she was trying to figure out how to penetrate that skin. So anyway, he gets the medicine. And then she says that she wants to go to the lab. And he says, well, I need to get back to my son. And she's like, if I don't do this, we're all going to die anyway. She goes, all of us are tired of, living like this because they all were tired of living like that because, everybody had lost somebody. The population got decimated and humanity got decimated, and they're all living on top of these 8,000 feet, and everybody lost somebody, and it was well acted. So he decides to go ahead. He stays around a little bit, and she got one of those skins from one of those creatures, and she was shooting it to try to see if she could penetrate the skin. She tried it twice, and he said, I got to go. So she said he wanted her to go with him, and she said, no, I'm going to stay back. And she goes, we're all going to die anyway if we don't get this figured out. She goes, so she stayed behind, and she was trying to use all this stuff to put on these bullets to see if they could pierce this skin. So he left, and then he almost gets home. He blows the tire, flips the car upside down. He wakes up, and then he has to get out. But these creatures are getting ready to come out. He can hear the creatures come out. Sound designs was in here on this was pretty cool. The sound design was pretty cool on this as well because I had surround sound on, so it sounded pretty good. So anyway, I'm sitting there, man, and it was kind of some tense moments because he was trying to. So he started running, because he knew he had to run uphill. But what I liked about it, he was trying to run with that bag for his little son because he had that medicine there. And he was trying to run. These things, you can hear him running, trying to get him. And it's like, you can hear him, running. But they ambushed him. And when they ambushed him, because remember, he had left her at that lab, and she failed twice to penetrate that skin. So then, he's almost to the top. But what I did like about this movie is they kept it real because he was hoofing up that hill. And you could tell he was getting tired, and he was scared, and he was trying to get up that hill, man, and one cut him off. So he started shooting, and then the other one cut him off. I said, oh, man, these creatures were like, they pinned him in. So, he's sitting there. He almost got to the top, but he didn't make it. So he's sitting there, and he know he's about to get got. And she comes out of nowhere, and she shoots one that blows up. She figured out how to, I said, man, she got to be coming outside. I was like, yeah, when it happened, I was like, yeah, man, And then, the special effects weren't all that great, but the special effects was good enough. You know what I mean? And so she shoots him, starts blowing him up. She starts blowing up, and then he looks up at her, and he like, obviously he was grateful that she saved his life. And then, when they make it home, the boy comes outside and says, Dad, you made it back? He goes, yeah, I told you I was going to make it back. Well, then she goes into there's this pirate. You know what a pirate flag looks like? She told him before that, before she left that she wants to try to, she said, I want, if I can raise that pirate flag, that means that once that pirate flag is up, that means humanity has a chance to we can fight against these things. So but let me back this up. So when she killed all three of those, because three of them had him pinned in, she had to pick them off, man. And one was getting ready to, one almost got her, man, and she was able to get a bullet in it. And once that bullet hit it, it made him blow up. I don't know what kind of chemicals she did, but he had left her behind that lab. So it was pretty slick. So anyway, she blew the last one up, and then they made it back up to the top of the hill where they all had these, because everybody survived this ordeal was 8,000 feet up. And they all had these little areas where, and every day they would look out, and they would look out to see if that pirate flag would fly, like the American flag. And if the pirate flag would go up, that means that she had figured out how to kill him. So when she got home, and he hugged the son and stuff, she went in there and she raised that flag, and then you see other people looking out this telescope, and they's like, oh my goodness. And you heard everybody's like, oh my goodness, the pirate flag's up, and then he started telecommunicating and telling everybody we figured out how to kill him and stuff. And the movie ended up with them having a war against these creatures because they couldn't figure out where they was coming from. But when she blew one up, and after she, saved him, him and her, because she saved him from almost getting killed. And he got up, and, he had his gun, and she had the gun that she made those special bullets for. And they walked up after they blew one up, and they looked at it. And I was sitting in my chair going, man, that looks like a machine. And it was a machine. So he's like, these are machines. She goes, yeah, I see that. He goes, well, where could they have come from? And this is where it gets really good. I was sitting there going, and she goes, I don't know. And then they're looking at it, and they got these hieroglyphics on there. And then she looks at him, and he goes, I'm just trying to figure out where these things came from. And then she looked up at the sky, and she was trying to say that they came from some spaceship, which they never touched in the whole movie, which I thought was like really cool, because I was like, oh my goodness, man, you guys went there. So then it showed them at the end, everybody coming out of the village, and they're mass producing these bullets and stuff. And then, man, all these, man, you seen people grouping up, man, with the bullets. And then it showed them at the end, says, now it's time for us to hunt them. And then the camera pans off, and it shows where everybody's starting, everybody's in groups killing these things. You can see smoke blowing up. And then as you see the camera rearing up, the camera goes up in the sky, and it shows United States, and it shows how they started taking the land back all over the United States, killing these things. So then after that, she has the girl that got killed that went with him to help him get that medicine. And then that was the way she was able to go to that lab and figure out how to, use those chemicals to penetrate that skin. She made a bullet, and it had named Katie on it because she wanted to, she wanted Kate, put it in this like angel, statue, and she put the thing on there because Katie gave up her life to try to help him, because it was three of them all together on that journey. But if they didn't make that journey, and she didn't make it to that lab to make them bullets, he wanted to save his son. And then in the meantime, she said, hey, I'm going to stay back. She goes, it doesn't matter. We're going to get killed anyway. And we don't like living like this. And she had a point. And then at the end, she has that little memorial for Katie. She puts that bullet there and says Katie. And then they look up, and she looks at him, and she looks up, and she looks up, and he looks up. And you can see 3 dots piercing the atmosphere of the world. So that means that some alien ship, which was so cool, you didn't see the ship now, but some alien ship was sending them down. That's how the movie ended. It showed Anthony Mackie and this woman here, I forgot her name because she's a good actress, but it seemed them looking up, and they's like, oh, they're going to come back. Because they must have figured out that mankind killed whatever alien ship has been sending these things down deep in the ground. Then when they go deep in the ground, they come back up, and they just wipe man out. Because in the movie, they made a statement about no wonder they killed people. He said, okay, that's why. He said, I was wondering why they just killed people, but they never ate them. They killed them, but they never ate the people. And there was parts in this movie where I thought was pretty cool, because when they made it to the hospital, how sometimes the movies forget things, like you go somewhere and you see a movie and you see all this destruction, you don't see all these dead bodies. Well, this movie checked a lot of things, because when they went in that hospital, she's like, golly, she made this expression, because he was like, they had their guns pointed, they was trying to make it to see if they can get, medicine for his son, but there was all these decayed and dead bodies that was around, because these things was way below 8,000 feet, so they was just killing people. And I said, now there you go. That made it more realistic, because you had these dried up, decayed bodies that was left behind from all that mass killing when these creatures came out and decimated humanity, as it says on the screen. So I was like, yeah. Now see, whoever filmed that thought about that, because if that was to happen, you would go in neighborhood. Let's say if the neighborhood got wiped out and there's still people in. If you go in those houses, there's still people, still in there dead or decayed or half ate up or something like that. And they did a good job putting that little small detail in there. But anyway, I didn't want to go this long, but yeah, I very much enjoyed this Elevation. And it's one of those movies I just kept looking at, and I kept looking at it. I said, man, I'm going to watch this. So I started watching this yesterday afternoon. And then I watched it last night and fell asleep, and then I came home after work and I finished it. So anyway, this is on HBO Max. This is on Max. Yeah, not HBO Max. Max. They call them Max now. But Elevation. And Anthony Mackie, man, he did a good job. And like I said, you guys, folks, there is nothing in here, if you catch my drift. Nothing. There's no boobs, butt, nothing. You don't have none of that in there. These people are just trying. That one thing I did like about this movie is they did a good job portraying what they were going through. Instead of some of these movies, they got all these people laying in bed, boning each other, and some woman coming out of the shower and all that kind of stuff. And they always got to show, I'm not going to talk about the other stuff. And it's just like, I was like, that really doesn't make any sense to put in the movie. Don't nobody really want to see that, because ain't nobody really going to be thinking like that. But, anyway, Elevation. God bless. Take care, and we'll catch you in the next video. Talk to you soon.